Bro, people are so mad at Nintendo right now. After last week's Direct, a lot of people were left with more questions than hype. Like $80 for Mario Kart World. We found out about that. And just for a casual gamer who aren't really trying to chase every upgrade, the whole thing feels kind of complicated if you really get to it. So let's break this down. Is the Switch 2 actually worth it when we consider all the costs that come with it? So we're going to talk about the real cost of this thing. And we'll also check to see if any of the features and stuff actually matter, because it definitely depends on your hardware, what you have going on at your home currently, if that would even apply to you anyway. So the Switch 2 is dropping in June, and it's supposed to cost $450, but obviously it's not really $450. We're talking about Nintendo now, right? So let's look at the real cost of a Nintendo Switch 2. So if you want to buy a vanilla Nintendo Switch, that's going to be $450. But who's buying a vanilla Nintendo Switch? Because they have Mario Kart World. And if you're a fan of Nintendo games, if you're a fan of Mario Kart World, obviously the best choice for you is going to be to buy the bundle version, which is $500. So you could get it for $50 as opposed to getting Mario Kart World for $80, which $80 is crazy in and of itself. I think every casual person who is considering this is going to buy the bundle as opposed to buying an $80 game. So let's do the math. Okay, so right off the bat, you got the Nintendo Switch 2. That's going to cost you $500 right off rip. Then you have to get yourself some storage expansion, because that 256 gigs is going to go really fast, especially if you put some big beefy games on there. Unless you plan on keeping only Mario Kart World on your system, then that's a whole different story. Or you might just have to delete stuff and reinstall stuff. That just becomes annoying. So yeah, you're going to need some storage. 1 terabyte could be fine, but 2 is just going to be a safe bet. So with that storage expansion, that's about another $180 right there. Now, if you have a Switch 1 and you want to play any of your Switch 1 games on there, guess what? You're going to have to pay $10 per game to upgrade your games for Nintendo Switch 2. So depending on how many games you actually have and how many you actually want to upgrade, that would depend on how much you'll be paying for that. But that could be hefty as well. So to really be set up on day one, to be honest with you, that's between $700 and $750 just to get everything going. So they did talk about some of the upgrades that they did. But if you're playing dock 90% of the time, then that's probably not really going to apply to you, because you're not really going to be on the go. So the screen size and resolution on the actual device really isn't going to apply to you much, because you're not really going to be using it that often. So the Switch 2 is definitely a good upgrade. But if you're not really gaming on the go and stuff like that, then the benefit of the screen and stuff like that might be wasted. I did that actually with my Steam Deck when I first got it, because when I first got the Steam Deck, I'm like, this is great. I could play all the PC games on the go. I could play all the games that were on PlayStation that I couldn't play that are on PC. Now I could play them on the go. I could actually get access to those things. But then I found out after a while that I'm not really a big handheld gaming type guy. I will play, let's say if I'm out, if I'm on vacation and I'm just away and I want to play something, maybe I might have it, but I'm not really heavy on it. So I found myself docking my Steam Deck more than anything. So really the screen size and the benefits of the device, like a Steam Deck, for me, I kind of wasted it because I just docked it. So I ended up getting a PC, because I'm like, well, if I'm going to dock this all the time and I'm getting these resolutions that aren't really what I want it to be, and then I had some sound issues on top of that, I'm like, I might as well get a PC. And now my Steam Deck is kind of just collecting dust. I really don't use it unless I'm out, like I said, on vacation or visiting family. I'm away. I won't be near my system. Then I'll have it. But outside of that, it just kind of collects dust and sits around. They also said that the dock will support 4K, which is great. 4K, HDR, all that cool stuff. That is great. But one thing you got to understand about 4K is that even though 4K is great, if you don't have a 4K television or a 4K monitor, then that's just kind of irrelevant. Yes, it can support 4K, but if you don't have the 4K devices to support that thing, then it makes no sense. And I think HDR is way more common on devices these days, so maybe you might be able to benefit from that. But they also have higher frame rates as well. I'm not a frame rate junkie. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I don't really care too much about the frame rate. As long as I'm not playing a game that's stuttering and things like that, I'm cool with whatever frame rate I have. I don't really pay attention to my frame rate too heavily, but that's just me. If you're just rocking out on some Animal Crossing or something like that, I don't think you're really too worried about frame rates and dropping frames. It's not really, if you're not playing any really intensive games that are high fidelity, then I think that you're really cool with that. Now, as far as the gaming library, they actually showed some really cool stuff. And if you're more casual and you play the cozy stuff, they have a few things there too. So a lot of the ports and remasters, you can still enjoy those on the Switch 1 and don't really need the Switch 2 to enjoy those. Unless you're really dying to see like slightly marginally better lighting and stuff like that, then there's really no rush to upgrade. So really, like if you're a casual gamer who only really plays after work and you just want to unwind or just have some fun with your kids, I think staying with the Switch 1 is absolutely fine. Switch 1 is still powerful. The Switch 1 definitely has a great suite of games that you can play, especially if you're not really a hardcore gamer. And I think that you could save that 700, 800 bucks for something else. So if you feel like you don't need the Switch 2 on day one, that's fine. It might be hard to get, who knows, but you might want to wait till like the price drops or the gaming library grows to a point where it's like, okay, they have a big suite of games that are specifically on Switch 2 that you can really dive into. Or personally, until Nintendo makes us care about something outside of just the hardware stats, because that's like the main push. They're talking about how much storage space they have, how much graphics you can get. But I'm just like, well, if I'm going to be playing the same games and it's not going to be a huge major difference, then it really doesn't make sense. Like, I'm not dying to play Mario Kart World. It would be great, but you know, my kids still enjoy Mario Kart 8, so you know, it's not really a big deal for me. So let's talk about what the Nintendo Switch 2 is actually going to offer on the gameplay side, right? They have some new stuff and they have some ports. So like you got Kirby Air Raiders, and that's a new racing game that's coming to the Switch 2. Then they're going to bring Zelda Breath of the Wild, and Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is getting a Nintendo Switch 2 edition version. And it has the mouse support. The mouse support doesn't really move me personally. Like I'm not really looking forward to kind of playing with a mouse. I don't even like to play with mouse and keyboard on my system. So to play mouse and keyboard on the Switch, I probably wouldn't really be excited to do that at all. That's just not my thing. It's not really my move. So you got Kirby and the Forgotten Land plus Star-Crossed Worlds, and they're bringing a new story from that one to the Switch. It's like minimal stuff. I think Donkey Kong and Mario are really the two big hitters right there that you can really look forward to. But outside of that, you know, it's still kind of a lot of things that kind of already exist on the Switch 1. And if you're happy with your Switch 1, it's seeming like you really wouldn't be missing much by sticking with it. So they also have a Drag X Drive game. It's a 3v3 kind of like wheelchair basketball game. I'm not really the avatar for that. I'm guessing for those who maybe have disabilities and things of that nature, maybe they would be excited to see themselves represented in a game and have a game tailored towards the way that they play sports. I think that would be cool. I'm not really looking forward to that one, though. It's not really my thing, like I said. They're also bringing a lot of the GameCube games over to the Nintendo Switch. So if you're like a really big fan of a lot of the GameCube games, I guess that's a reason why you would want to come over. Me personally, not so much, but if that's your thing, that might be something to be excited about. Now, Dusk Bloods, that looks cool. Everybody's calling it Bloodborne 2, but somebody like me who really hasn't played Bloodborne 1, like I'm not really excited for a Bloodborne 2 or anything that would represent a Bloodborne 2. So me personally, I'm not really looking forward to that too much. It looks like a cool game. I would get it off the strength of it being a FromSoft game, and I'm really into FromSoft games. I like them. I played Sekiro, I played Elden Ring, and those games I really loved. So seeing a game like Dustbloods looks like something that I would be interested in, but I don't know if I would buy the whole system just based off of that, though, to be honest with you. Speaking of Elden Ring, they're bringing Elden Ring Tarnished Edition to this, so that's another one. If you haven't played Elden Ring, or if you're a big Elden Ring fan, there's that. So yeah, man, I mean, the Nintendo Switch 2, it looks cool. It has some cool features, very interesting mechanics like the mouse thing, and obviously they have the 4K and they have the HDR stuff. But, you know, to drop the 700 on that when really I haven't even finished Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, and, you know, it doesn't really seem like it would be feasible for me, a casual guy, or maybe a lot of casual people out there. I don't think that there's really much rush or hype. Unless you're really looking for the specs and you really want Mario Kart World, if you're like a diehard and you want that one, I would say, okay, go for it. And you can upgrade your other games and bring them over. But if you're not really into specs, and if you're cool and you're casual and you play just for fun, or you play in your leisure time, or maybe just to have some fun with the kids, then I think staying with the Switch 1 is absolutely fine. But yeah, man, that's just me. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you excited for the Switch 2? Are you looking forward to it? Are you getting it day one? Are you buying everything, the whole shebang off rip? Let me know. I'm always down to have conversations with you all. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you're into more casual conversations, more grounded conversations, hype free, and just having casual discussions about gaming. That said, thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I'll see y'all on the next one, man. Peace.